All right, it is now 4:30 in the morning, and I am more awake than I was 30 minutes ago. So this is a fun tub. It just shows how insane I am. We're going to start off with the She-Ra here, which was a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, as well as Chicago Comic-Con exclusive. There was no New York Comic-Con at that time. This was the Mattel exclusive, of course. Nicely done. This had real rooted hair. I know we are stepping up in the world. If I'm going to play with my doll, she'd better have hair, especially coming from a person like myself. Look at that. That actually was a really well done piece. I still think this is a very nice, even in today's standards. Sorry about that. Even in today's standards, this is a clean, wonderful piece. And in addition with that, this is signed by the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse. And I don't mean the actual sculptors that were at Mattel and worked on Spawn and are still in the industry today. No, these are actually the real 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse that signed this from biblical times. I think that is much more fantastic to have their autographs. But one could only wish. Not going to sell this piece. It is not a strong value now with all the new stuff that's being produced these days. It doesn't hold its value as it used to. I think they got to about $100. It'll probably be worth about $50 in my opinion now. But, you know, as I said, it's a keeper. We have Inspector Gadget. As a kid, I loved my Gadget. I think we all did. It was just mind-numbing, wonderful entertainment for what it was at that time. The figure, I love the concept of revealing the mysterious Dr. Claw. They covered him up. Clearly, he was just an old man figure, so it wasn't too much of an exciting thrill. There is a final release of figures from Australia, including one that transforms into a tank. And I don't have them. I want to have them, but at that time frame, when I was trying to pursue them, because they're still very rare, that's when I was realizing I didn't have much money in my bank account and I was constantly broke and I needed to stop just buying the world. So that's been quite a number of years that I've actually not even looked for those. Value-wise, I think it has still a strong value, about $75 to $100 possibly. This is still a line that people do like. And now you will see the insanity of my brain after we deal with Keldor. So here is Keldor, still sealed. Oh my God, he's sealed. At the time for this San Diego Chicago Comic-Con exclusive, I think it was 2005, 2003. So yeah, this was before the She-Ra. She-Ra was next. This was highly prized. At the show, Comic-Con, people were going bonkers. You had to get a raffle ticket in order to win. They call like the odd number, the even number for that day. They had a set amount, and that was it. I remember holding up a sign at a friend's booth at Chicago Comic-Con. We're like, buying Keldor. It's like $65 each. I think they were being sold online for like $110 each. I don't think the value of this piece is kept up with the market. $60 item now versus like $200 with the market still going on strong. No. And I do have really great memories of like Average holding that sign up and screaming at the crowds. I'm letting a lot of my 2000X go. The She-Ra, I think, is just really cool. Keldor is cool, but I mean, if I can get an open loose figure, I'm going to be okay with that. So I'm going to let this one go, see what I can get for it. And I'll give you a little quick story, too. I was there, which is a vague statement. You just tell people at random, get people little bunny ears perked up. I was there back in Nam. No. I was at the San Diego Comic-Con where they had the first exclusive 2000X, like pretty much almost like the first exclusive to my knowledge. I mean, there were other exclusives being offered for years beforehand, but like I think this was the first exclusive where people were getting like into collecting the toys and really hardcore variants as well as exclusives. At the Mattel booth, it was just lined up at that time. It was the most basic strategy I'm going to put a little asterisk next to this and say time may have changed the story a little bit, but I don't think so. I sat out there, we stood out there, friend and I, and you could not stand in the booth or the side of the booth. So you had to be like in the outskirts of other people's booths or in the aisle, and we're all waiting. And the guy's like, okay, like there was some signal that was given, and everyone's just freaking piling in. And if you've ever been in a mad rush, a panic rush, a stampede, you just can't escape it. And now part of you, your brain just dies and you go with it. Like, it's just like, everybody else is doing it. I might as well do it myself. In the mad stampede, if I'm correctly remembering this, a kid in a wheelchair got knocked over. And that was the big kibosh on that. Like, they knew right then that they fucked up. And that's when they went, right, I think they leave the next day. I mean, the Comic-Con convention itself got involved, and they had to do like a raffle, I think, the next day. Like, everything changed from that time on for all exclusives. Those are different times, man. So anyways, these Aliens figures all came from a former employee of Kenner. Now, with my knowledge of prototypes, which is pretty damn vast, when you have a production sample, like let's say this glorious, beautiful scorpion alien, you're already at production quality. There's not going to be anything different with this figure unless there are slight differences in paint application, and that's it. I mean, there are running changes. There might be something unproduced in the back. Those things happen, but really not with the Aliens line. There's nothing recorded. So I was just scouring for anything I could find of a variant on this. So I was like, looking at the teeth are really bright. Oh my God, the copper tones. So I got that scorpion alien out. And I got this scorpion alien out. And I was like, oh my God, this one's way more brighter than that one. Do you see it? This one's being tied down by a twisty tie on the top to the torso, and this one's not being held at all. So this one came later, and this one's probably going to have a very... And I just started going bananas. Yeah, one on the top. We have another one without it at all. And this one you can see is way more brighter in the copper spray app. That guy in China was like, oh, I'm going to make this a bronzed scorpion alien. I love bronze. I just kept all of it because I was just mentally not there with like, I got to be safe than sorry. This one actually kind of dictates more to it. Here's the gorilla alien with a twist tie on the bottom. Here's a gorilla alien with a multicolored, like, cheapy twist tie. So something was up with this one especially. I never saw one after that. These are still worth like $10 each, and I just still am storing hordes of them. So I love them, baby. And here's the bull alien. So at this point, I'm going to let go of two of the scorpions, cover my bases, keep one of each. I think I was just delusional, which I think everybody already knows that. Resident Evil, Biohazard. They did a fantastic lineup at Palisades of these figures. They are still pretty well collected to this day. I mean, Toy Biz made the first series and kind of royally pooped on that. But Palisades picked it up. If you guys didn't know, there's another series called Resident Evil, but it was by Moby Dick in Japan, and those things can go for insane money for the last series, the little Build-A-Figure pieces in it. To be honest with you, I love my Resident Evil. I love the remakes they're doing in the higher quality of the original games, but even though Mr. X is the dream that I wish to be in the future, I can let him go. I'm really curious what it was going to be worth. They think it could be worth $20. It could be worth $50. It's one of those things I just have no idea. But I need to tone down my alien fetish, that's for sure. Clearly, I need help if it's 4:30 in the morning and I'm talking about aliens on YouTube. I think that's a sign that you need to move on to the next tub.